All right, so the practice test for Chapter 8, there are a few things I want to point out. First of all, the directions, and they will be like this on the test as well. Say for each problem, write an equation, okay, and answer the problem. So this will be worth a point to just give me the equation. The work will be worth a point. The solution will be worth a point. And you'll get minus 0.5 if no label on every one of these types of story problems, okay? I'm not going to show you how to plug this in the calculator, but I'm just going to discuss how this works. So the first couple problems you've got are either going to be y equals ab to the x or a equals p times 1 plus r over n to the nt. But the only time you really use that formula is if you see the word compounded. Okay, compounded monthly, quarterly, yearly, etc. would go in the n spot. Okay? So, for the first one, we are doing y equals ab to the x. A is always our initial amount, okay? Maybe we should say some of that. Initial or original amount. B is your growth or decay factor. And x is the time periods, okay? So what we start with here, it says 40 animals, so there's my A. So y equals 40 times, to an island triples, means it's times 3, that's my B, every 4 years. So you can write to the x power here, you can write to the x over 4 power here, or you could just decide what it is. And between 2004 and 2000, that is 24 years. But because it happens every 4 years, remember we got to divide that to get a 6 there. That's my equation. Again, if you have an x up there, that's the same thing, but this is what I'm doing to find it. You plug it right into your calculator that way. 40 times 3 to the 6th power will give you 29,160 animals. Yes, you should be labeling it. If you put dogs there, I'm going to take a half point off. It says animals. Okay? Next problem, same kind of thing. Y equals A times B to the x power. It's starting with 35, so that's my A. It doubles, so that's my B. Every 4 hours over 72 hours. So to find x, I got to go 72 divided by 4. That's how I get 18 right here. Plug it right in, 35 times 2 to the 18th power. It's going to seem like a lot. It is. It makes it scary if there's a outbreak or something, how fast things can continue to multiply in an exponential manner. Okay? The population of Bell Land, yeah, I made that up because that's my daughter's name, is 9,000. So again, 9,000 times. Now, every time you see a percent should trigger either 100 plus the percent or 100 minus the percent as your B. Okay, that is going to happen in every time you see a percent. In this case, it's growing, so I go up B is 100 plus 1.2, which is 101.2. and I move the decimal over 2 places. That's how I get 1.012 right there. Each year means just once per year, so there's nothing to multiply from my x. It's just from 2025 to 2005, which is 20 years. Plug it right in like that, you get 11,425 people. Remember that you lose a point if you don't round this. 0.5 minus rounding to 10th. I want you to round to the 10th on everything else, but not people, because remember we talked about round to the nearest person. Okay? Next problem, same thing. Y equals AB to the x. A is my initial value of 50 times 29% leaves. Leaves tells you it is decay, so 100 minus 29 equals 71. Move the decimal over 2 places. That's how I get 0.71. Every hour, so there's no dividing here, it just says after 6 hours, so I put a 6 right there, plug it right into my calculator, get 6.4 milligrams. Okay, 6.41 it says, but here it says round to the nearest whole number. That is not the case. Up top, round to the nearest whole number. I want everything to the nearest 10th. That will be clear when we give the test. I will make sure I reiterate that. Alright, so this one again, round to the nearest hundredth, which is 2 decimal places. I'm going to scratch that out again. I want to the nearest 10th. Unless it's money. Now money you round to 2 decimal places, okay? So that's why it's saying that. I'm going to take that back. Nearest hundredth, 2 decimal places, because it's money, okay? Now, you see the word compounded in there? No. So I'm still not using compounded. But $4,000 doubles, so times 2, every 7 years. How much is it in over 24 years? If that was a 21, you would be able to just go 21 divided by 7 and get 3. If that was a 28, you'd go 28 divided by 7 and get 4. But because it's 24, it doesn't go evenly. So what I would suggest is doing it to the power of 24 divided by 7 in parentheses. Don't round this. If you round this, your answer is not going to be precise, and I want precise answers. So this, by the way, is the equation. I should have just written it in there. So you go 4,000 times 2 to the power of parentheses 24 divided by 7. And it will give you the answer of $43,068.81. Okay? So on to the next page. All right, back at the top. We've got principal compounded. Okay, so we see that word compounded, which means we've got to use this. Remember, P is my principal, or my initial amount. Okay, 1 plus R, which is my rate, percent, as a decimal, over N to the NT power. Remember that N is your number of times compounded. It tells you right in the problem. And T is your time periods. Usually it is in years, okay? So let's move on. So A equals, tells me my principal, $5,000, okay? Times 1 plus, the interest rate is a decimal. You move it over 2 places, 0.0475 divided by annually, so 1 goes there and there, okay? Gonna give you this formula for the test. You don't have to memorize it, but you gotta know how to use it. T is 25 years, so times 25 up here. You can plug it in just like this as long as you put this in parentheses. What I would suggest is to simplify it. 5,000 times 1.0475 to the 25th power, because then you can plug it in just like that and get $15,952.21. What I want you to recognize also is on all of these problems, when it says equations, all equations have an equal sign in common. Okay? All right, let's go back to this again. Equal sign, equal sign. Compounded, I see, so A equals the principal of $5,000. It looks like it's the same setup here, it's just compounded quarterly, so I'm going to do it. 0.475 divided by 4 to the 4 times 25 power. Again, if you at least simplify this to get 100, you can plug it in just like that. 5,000 times parentheses 1 plus 0.0475 divided by 4 parentheses to the 100th power. If you do 4 to the 4 times 25 power, it will take this to the 4th power and then times everything by 25, and you will get a crazy big number. This is 16,280.08 cents. Okay? So again, I would simplify the exponent, and it's the same thing here. Same amount of money, same interest rate. Compounded monthly is 12 to the 12 times 25 power. Again, simplify this to get 300, and you can plug it in just like you see it as long as you do that first. Otherwise, again, you need to put this in parentheses. We've talked about doing that with the exponents anyway. Plug it right in, $16,355.98. Again, I will take points off. If you were even 1 cent off, you will lose a half a point, okay? All right, next problem. I don't see compounded, so I'm back to y equals ab to the x. So y equals the initial amount, 8,500, decreases by 16%. I see percent, 100 minus, this is my b, 16 is 84. Move the decimal over 2 places, I get 0.84. What is the value in 7 years? To that power, plug it in, $2,508.27, which really sucks to think that in 7 years you've lost $6,000 in equity on this ride. Okay, so number 10, compounded. Okay, I'm going to use that formula. And I'm going to write it all out here. Sorry, you can't see that. Let's try that again. I'm going to write it all out here, and I'm going to start filling in blanks up here. How long would it take $6,000 to double? That doesn't mean we're timesing by 2. It says compounded, we're using this formula. But this is my initial amount. If it's doubling, that means that A is 12,000. I'm doubling it. Now, if you remember, I don't even need to write this because doubling means there's going to be a 2 over there, but we'll roll with it anyway. To the 0.055, because I would move this decimal over 2 places, over quarterly 4 to the 4t power. It's asking how long, so that's my t. Okay. So I'm going to start simplifying this a little bit. I'm going to divide both sides by 6,000. And I'm going to simplify all of this at the same time. So I get 2 equals 0.055 divided by 4 is 0.01375 to the 4t power. You should recognize what to do next. We got to log both sides and pull the exponent up. So I'm going to have log 2 equals 4t log 1.01375. Don't round that. Make sure you use all of those digits. Okay? And then divide both sides by what's not t. I need to get the 4 and the log 1.01375 out of there. Remember, we got to put that in, well, these just cancel actually. On the other side, we definitely got to have that in parentheses if you remember. Divide it out, and you should get 12.69 years. I'm going to stay with the fact that it says to the nearest hundredth, so 2 decimal places, and just stay there. Same thing here, 27,000 to become half. Well, half of this is 13,500. Take your calculator, divide it by 2. Simple as that. Now, 1,000 here, times, depreciates 18%. I see percent, and I don't see compounded, so it's 100 minus 18, 82. Move the decimal over 2 places, 0.82. Per year, so per year would be just to the t power. Same as the previous problem, divide by that. I'm going to tell you 10 and 11, hardest 2 problems on the test. Ones that most will get wrong more than anything else. But it's the same steps. Divide by the number, you should get 0.5 equals something because it says half. Whereas up here it says double, so that's why I got 2 right here and so on. And then we know we're just going to log both sides and solve it. So log that side, log the other side and bring the t out front, and divide by log 0.82. Divide it out, 3.49 years. Okay? Alright, a few more. Okay? Up here on top, these are just the problems that we just got done with our quiz on, where you're just going to log both sides when it's an exponential and exponent both sides when it's a log. So here, I'm going to log both sides and pull the x out front and divide. So I get 2.3. This says round to the nearest tenth, which is 1 decimal place. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Even though it's on that side, it's the same thing. Divide always by the number that is next to your x. People are starting to realize that, I think. 3.5. Just going to keep working here. X minus 2 comes out. Log 2. Got to get rid of that log first in this problem. I can't divide by 2 log because that's connected here, and I get x minus 2 equals, well, it's 6.6, and then add 2 to both sides. I get 8.6. Okay. Same thing here. Divide by this first. It's like 1.7 minus 2 to both sides. X is negative 0.3. Yes, you can get it, because when you plug a negative in here, I still end up with a positive exponent overall. Next problem, not as hard as it looks. You can't do the log to both sides first because I got this plus 1, but if I just bring it to the other side, I get 4 to the 3x minus 2 equals 4. Now if you're really smart here, you don't have to log both sides. They have the same base. You can just set the exponents equal to each other. Add the 2 and divide to get 1. But if you are just stuck in continuing to do the logs, It's not a bad thing. We can do this. The cool thing is that when I get here and I divide by log 4 to both sides, log 4 divided by log 4 is 1. I get 3x minus 2 equals 1, and that brings me right here where I would add 2 to both sides, divide, and get 1, which is my answer. I have one log statement. I can do the 10 thing to both sides right now, and I get 125.9. Right here, I can pull this 3 up here, which makes it go away, and then 10 both sides. Those cancel. X plus 2 cubed equals 1,000,000. And then cube root both sides. It's in your calculator. As if you go under math, there's a math button that's right by the alpha button. Press math, and you'll see a little button that says that on it. Okay? Cube root cancels with a cube. Or take it to, again, if this is 3, it's the same as taking it to the 1/3 power. So I can take this to the parentheses 1/3 power, or find the cube root button on your calculator. Again, this is the calculator portion, so that makes sense. You get x plus 2 equals 100, and you minus 2 from both sides. Now there is another way to do this problem, which is a lot easier. From the very beginning, if I had just divided both sides by 3, I would have got x log of x plus 2 equals 2. I would have got x plus 2 equals 100 by doing the 10 thing, and it would have got me to 98 both ways. Right here it's one log statement, so do the 2 thing to both sides. These cancel. X minus 2 equals 2 to the negative 3rd power in a calculator is 0.125. Add 2 to both sides, 2.125. Except it says the nearest 10th, so that goes away, and there's my answer. Minus means divide, so log base 5 of x over 28 equals 2. Got to have it one log statement first. Got to do the 5 thing here because it's base 5. Those cancel. X over 28 equals not 2 to the 5th, 5 to the 2nd, which is 25. Okay? Then to solve, the opposite of division is just to multiply, and you get 700. Okay? The non-calculator portion is going to be on a different tape. I didn't want to make a 30-minute tape, and I will do that over the weekend. We'll have that for you on Monday. This is what you should be doing. I hope you check through this. You work through number 20 for Monday, and if you get time, which you should easily be able to, you should be able to do for sure at least the problems at the bottom of this page, and then Monday we'll have time to work on the stuff on the back page. I would say if you continue to work ahead, don't go past 42. 42 is probably as far as you need to get, because you will get time in class Monday, and I don't want you to have nothing to do. So have a good weekend. Behave yourselves. If you're watching this Friday, you know the rules. One thing I don't want to see is something bad in my sub report. Have a good day.